And we're back with Tetris Blast. Normally I do these LPs like, I try and do at least a part a day, because normally these games that I LP aren't very long, so I usually just, get them out at least once a day. But lately I've been kind of busy, and I've been working on my next review coming up, which is Command & Conquer Renegade. So there's that, and plus this is a game that, I can't really commentate on too much or really come up with things to say. Like, that's why I'm pretty much just giving you this little bit of an update, because I've pretty much explained the basics of how this game works, and other than that, there's not really much to commentate on except for, on the fly, what happens during the game. I guess you could argue it's not exactly the greatest game to LP or commentate on, but it's still a game that I feel is a little bit, well, obscure, but not too obscure at the same time. It's a game that I just have fond memories of and just want to play and just talk about, And with all the versions of Tetris that have came out, I've yet to see a newer version of Tetris Blast or anything like that. At least not from what I know. And of course, there's always one little block that I miss. Fortunately, the game is kind enough to give you plenty of bombs to make big bombs, so you can just blow it up. There's also a multiplayer component to this game, but as far as I can recall, I don't think I've played it. I remember playing Tetris on the Game Boy before multiplayer with my cousin through a link cable, but I'm not exactly sure if I did that with Tetris Blast as well. It's just been a long time, so it's just kind of like one of those things where I'm just like, I don't even really remember if I played multiplayer, and even then I don't remember how it worked. I assumed it's similar to Tetris in how it played out, but oh well. And it's not like with online games today, so you can't exactly just go and just find someone else with a Game Boy and say, hey, you want to play this? Unless you had a friend who also had the game and a Game Boy and a link cable and stuff like that. I mean, I guess that was one thing back then with handheld games like that. It's like, especially the more obscure games where if it had a two-player component, it's just like, well, the chances of me finding someone is pretty slim of this game. Of course, I know in Japan it's more prominent to have local online or local multiplayer because, with the population density over there, it's pretty simple to find someone, especially with something like Monster Hunter. That's actually another reason why, Monster Hunter is such a huge thing over in Japan. And here it's still kind of a niche thing, even though I did get into Monster Hunter Tri and then the series from there on the Wii, so at least Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, and then the rest of the series from there on. And of course, if I could just take a break from that tangent and actually go back to the game, the later stages, of course, get more elaborate in terms of like the level design and stuff like that. They're made to be intentionally tricky to work around. But anyway, going back to the whole multiplayer thing, and it's like, and even then with like newer-ish handhelds like the PSP and DS, they had like local download multiplayer as well. Although a lot of DS games did have single cart download play, which was pretty neat, because then I could play with my brother on some games like Metroid Pinball and stuff like that. So I guess with but of course then you have games like Guitar Hero, or not Guitar Hero, what am I talking about? Gitaru Man, I meant to say, sorry, which does have a single two-player component, but, good luck trying to find anyone who actually has that game besides me, Although with PSP you do have Ad Hoc Party, which is pretty cool. So, with that you can just, just go online with that, is pretty much, which is pretty neat. And, wow, that was a long chain reaction there, but didn't quite get everything, of course. And, I do apologize if I'm sort of just rambling on off tangent. Like I said, when it comes to, like, just talking about a game like this, that's pretty simplistic in its nature, in that there's nothing much else to commentate other than what's going on right away. because if I keep doing that, it'll just be redundant. So I figured I might as well just at least talk about a little bit of something else, you know? So yeah, I mean, of course, my usual Tetris strategy here applies as well, where I just sort of wait to build up my stack of blocks and then wait for a long piece, or at least get a two-line going for a chain reaction. And a big circle, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, going back to, it'd be interesting to see if this game would, or at least some type of variation of this would come back in some form, with, you know, with online and play and stuff, because like I said, I don't even really remember how online even worked. Oh, well, that was nice. I actually managed to get that all done within pretty fast there. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I've kind of run out of things to say, haven't I? I was afraid this might happen when when I was doing this LP of Tetris Blast. I guess I could talk about maybe just something else, like the different versions of Tetris I have played. Besides this and the original Game Boy one, I also have the NES Tetris, which is pretty much the same as the Game Boy one, except, you know, in color and stuff like that. And, you know, and I don't have the unlicensed one, so no, I don't have that. I also have Tetris 2, which isn't really a sequel to Tetris, at least not an official one. Because in that game, it's more about matching the colors of blocks in order to eliminate them, rather than making lines, kind of thing. It's more of a bit of a more of a traditional block puzzle than, say, you know, drop line puzzle, or make line puzzle rather. And we just cleared 15 stages, so we get another little dance. This time with this little blob guy, who in the fight mode eats the big bombs, which, you know, is a fun character to deal with in the fight mode. But yeah, going back to the different versions of Tetris I have, and then I also have, even though it's not really Tetris, I do have Dr. Mario, and again, this is not really Tetris, but Tetris Attack on the Super Nintendo, and that's fun. Even though Tetris Attack is called something else in Japan, they just sort of rebranded it with Yoshi's Story and just sold it on the Super Nintendo for that, in order to, you know, make people in North America actually buy it, because, you know, anime stuff doesn't exactly sell that high here in North America, even though it is getting more and more popular in recent years, but still not exactly the numbers they sell over there. I mean, obviously, why else would the Tales games be super popular over there, while here it's still kind of somewhat known, a little bit known at least. And that's some tricky bomb forming right there, even though I can't make a line down there just yet. Unless I get a 2 combo going and make a blast, and oh, that's great, yeah. So anyway, I also have Tetris DS. Now, Tetris DS is probably one of my favorite iterations of Tetris, because it has several different types of Tetris. It's all based off of Nintendo franchises, and it has online play, which is pretty cool. But other than that, I don't really have any other versions of Tetris. I know there's several other Tetris versions out there, and the only other one I think that was made by the original creator of Tetris was called Hatris, which, yes, it was literally just dropping down hats and making stacks of hats with that. It was sort of, yeah, I don't even know why that was made. You think the creator of Tetris would come up with something a little bit more creative than that, but oh well. That game was actually for like the TurboGrafx 16, and wow, that's a big explosion, but didn't get it all, of course. But yeah, I mean, I have a TurboGrafx 16, but I don't think I would get Hatris, even if it is a sort of pseudo sequel to Tetris and ooh. Yeah, even though I said earlier that moving line, the moving blocks in between certain spaces sometimes doesn't work, but if you can do it just right, you can move pieces into, turn pieces into certain areas like I just did there earlier. But it gets pretty trickier later on, especially when the blocks move faster. And we got some decent lines going here already. If we can just get a 3 combo going. And oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but when you get more than 2 lines, your score gets added the score gets added as well. Like for every extra line you make, it adds to the score a little bit. It's kind of like how when you form a bomb, it gives you an additional score. And oh, that didn't work. Great. Hopefully I can rectify that by blowing up at least a good portion of it. Oh, what do you know? It actually cleared it all out. That's good. And was that meant to be like shaped in a Game Boy? Because think about it, you have the D-pad right there, you have the screen, and then you have the 2 little holes in the side there. I know it doesn't look exactly like it, but you know, kind of looks familiar, I would think. So, yeah. Yeah, there we go. See, going to give 3 lines had caused us to get 2 additional points to our score, which is a good way of, you know, keeping a high score, I guess, if you're really into that. But more importantly, if your score gets low, that way you can have at least additional pieces to not worry about. So, yeah, how are all you guys doing? Yay, I still got like 3 more minutes to talk about something about this game without sounding completely redundant. Let's do it? Yeah, there we go. That looks like a tree, I guess. Oh boy. Maybe I should have just left this as like a, you know, a wordless LP, or a playthrough rather, of just me playing Tetris. But I don't know, would that be any more boring, or would you rather just listen to me just ramble on about this game and like stuff that is like barely or even if not related to the actual game I'm playing right now? Oh, there we go. Wow, that actually cleared off quite a bit. Now, hopefully we can just clear off this thing here. Actually, yeah, make 2 bombs for good measure. Because why not? Make more bombs. Wait, what am I... oh, what did I do there? Ah, damn it. I could have ended the level right there if I didn't screw up my turning, but... yeah, that still worked out in my favor. Thankfully. Oh yeah, and then... one thing I forgot to mention is that you do have a grand score during this whole game, as you see there, which, again, is just a score, so whatever. Okay. I'm just trying to think here. I'm trying to think of actual games on the Game Boy that actually utilized the Super Game Boy feature of like having a unique background, such as blah blah blah. I can say words, such as what you see here in Tetris Blast in the background. I do know the Game Boy camera had a unique background, and it was entirely in black and white for that, because you know I did a review for that, and for whatever reason it's still my most popular review right now. I still get views and comments for it to this day, even though it's over 2 years old, which I'm sort of on. I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, I know people like the review, but I just felt it could have been done a little bit better, but that's just me, you know, with my old stuff. Oh, and we just cleared 20 stages. So yeah, we get another little dancing dude. Yay! Superb. Woohoo. And that guy's a dick in the fighting mode. You'll see why eventually. So yeah, we actually only have 5 more stages to go before we, you know, beat the first set of stages. So we'll just go to the next part and we'll see then. Of course, they're much harder, which, yeah, that'll be fun.